Okay.
Okay, so we had two primary objectives with CJ Leads. The first was to be able to do a comprehensive profile of an offender. So people are able to go in and search for a variety of different reasons for an offender. So we'll do a criminal justice purpose search, and you can search by personal identifiers like name, address. I can put just an address in and find anybody who's been associated with that address, gender, age range, birth date. I can also search by specific identifiers, so if I happen to know a DOC ID or a Social Security number. And if I'm researching a particular court case, I can come down here and I can search on particular court cases.
Okay.
So today what we'll do is I'll just search on a name, and I'm going to search on John Porter. And the system goes out, we have about 45 million records that represent about 13 million offenders. And so when you search on a name like John Porter, it goes out and it finds all the similar matches it can find to John Porter. So you can see I found John Porter and James Porter and Mark Porter. And it brings back what we call a search results screen. And what we tried to do was give law enforcement and the courts officials the most important information they need to know about an offender. So it's going to give you the name of the person, their street address, any identifiers that we have for them. You'll note we protect the Social Security number, so only certain roles can actually see the actual Social Security number. And it'll also give you physical characteristics. But one of the key features of CJ Leads are these warning icons here at the top. You can float over those, and this tells you that this person has a history of assaultive behavior, so he's approached with caution.
Okay.
He also has an outstanding order for arrest. He's registered on the North Carolina Sex Offender Registry, and he's gang-related information. So it kind of gives law enforcement a quick picture of exactly who they're dealing with before they actually have to encounter the individual.
Okay.
So once you decide that you've got the right individual, you're able to then drill in and see detailed information about this person. So again, we give you a dashboard. And what we have in the system right now is Administrative Office of the Courts court records. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be any court proceedings that this person's been involved in. Outstanding or unserved warrants or orders for arrest. Times that they've been in any of our county jails. Times in our North Carolina prisons. Domestic violence cases. Community corrections, which is probation, parole, post-sentence release. Sex offender registry information if they're registered, and then gang information if it's been identified by any of our source systems, as well as scars, marks, and tattoos. So this is a dashboard, if you will, and what it's going to tell you in each of these boxes is if they're red, we've highlighted it for your attention. There's something you need to note. So here you can see that he does have 2 outstanding processes. Here he has 2 pending court cases. You'll note he has a current registration in the Sex Offender Registry. So those are marked in red just to bring it to your attention.
Right.
And then you can get other information, like he's previously been in jail, but he's not currently in jail, so that's not highlighted. He's also currently been on community correction. So kind of, again, a quick picture. But then we allow the law enforcement officer to also drill into much more specific information. So I'll just show you one tab and then kind of tell you what's on the rest of them. So in the court record tab, when I click on this, it's going to give me all of the court records that this person has throughout the state. One of the challenges of the old system is that to find all of their court records, you had to search by every county in the state individually. So this brings them all together. It's going to give you basic information about the particular court case. You can sort all of these columns just like you can with any Microsoft application. Mm-hmm. You can also filter over here if you want to look for only guilty verdicts. You can filter things and find just specific cases. And then you have the ability to drill into more specific information, get things like the attorney's name, the dates associated with the case, if there were bond amounts that were set. So we start the officer or the court official out with very summary level information, but you can drill down and get most of the detail.
Now, is this all information that they can get in their car?
They can. If they have air card and internet access, they're able to actually access this along with the photographs in the car. Wow. Which is new. A lot of them didn't have access to photographic images in the car. And we've heard that that's a real key feature, that ability to positively identify someone with a picture.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see, you can go through any of these tabs and you'll see the same sorts of information, summary level, and with each of these summary levels you can drill in and see periods of custody in the jails and where they were being held in a particular jail, for what reason. It'll give the primary charge, time in our prison system, and if you drill into an active period of incarceration, it will tell you where the person is currently being held. So again, if for some reason you need to define the person now, you have that information. Some of the other information that's of interest is a lot of times they want to see multiple pictures. Now, this is all test data, so these aren't actually pictures of the same person, but you have the ability to drill through and see multiple pictures of an individual. So every jail that's taken a picture of them, Department of Corrections, the magistrates, we have all those pictures in our system.
Okay, so that would all be the same person.
That's right.
Okay.
If it was a real person,
if it
that's
was a real
right.
person, right.
Then the second feature that we were asked to do was a watch list. So I can now add this person to my watch list, and I can now look at all the individuals on my watch list and be notified if anything changes with them. So if I have a probation case, for example, and I want to know if that person has been arrested, I can set up my preferences to be alerted when he's arrested, if he's put into prison custody, if he's about to be released from custody, and I can get email warnings when that happens. So the system will track my watch list, and then it will send me alerts. It sends me an email every morning that says you have 5 alerts. You can come into CJ Leads and you can see, for example, that this person was incarcerated and the particular date and the case associated with that. So now if I need to take action, I've been notified and I can take action. And by just clicking on my alert, I can go right back into my person's record. Now, one of the new features that we added back in December, we did the initial release of CJ Leads in June last year. In December, we added a real-time search with DMV. So all the data you've seen so far is batch. We get a feed overnight from the courts, from Department of Corrections, from the jails. But DMV is a live search. So you can actually, and this is kind of a scenario that a lot of times law enforcement uses, so they'll stop a vehicle, and we gave them the ability to pop up a plate search. So you can put in a vehicle tag number and do a search, and it's going to pull up the plate that matches that particular tag. Now, from this, I'm looking at actual DMV vehicle registration information, so I can see that the tag is suspended, the plate needs to be picked up, they've got expired insurance. But the interesting thing about it is I can also see who owns the car. So if I now know who owns the car, and it looks like that might be who's driving, I can drill through from my vehicle registration and see their driver's license information. Now I can see now that they've got a suspended driver's license. That might change how they're going to deal with me when I come up to the car. I can go back and I can look at their driver history so I can see any convictions that they've had. But I can also click this lookup button here and immediately run all of their offender results. So now when it pulls up all the offender results, in just a second, when it pulls up all the offender results, I now will have the ability to, I think I click that again. I'm not sure quite why that didn't do that. You can edit that out, right? When I click on their offender results, then I'm able to see that, for example, there's an approach with caution, or there's an order for arrest. So again, I now know, I'm not sure why that's not working for me on this test environment. But I would be able to go back again and see my John Porter record, and that would allow me to know that he's approached with caution. So before I walk up and encounter him, I might just be a little more cautious. So that's really CJ Leads in a nutshell what it's all about. A lot of this information has been available to law enforcement, but in a lot of different systems. So they'd have to log on to multiple systems to get the information that's actually available here in CJ Leads. So that's what CJ Leads has really brought to the table.